はい、皆さん、こんばんちは、ノトでございます。ということで、シャーロックホームズ、罪と罰続きやっていきましょうかね。でですね、前回、また一人、被害者を出してしまったというもなんか、無事な人がいないよな。いやー、救ったとは言えませんね。コナンが怒っちゃうね、こんなんでね。コナンもね、一人だけね、死なせた方がいてずっと悔やんでるからね、そのこともう俺もね3人ぐらい殺してるから続きやっていきましょうか。多分ラスト事件だと思います。ベイカーストリートイレギュラーズが関わってるみたいですね。やっていきましょう。これは何、ヤード行けばいいのかい。なんかね、そのベイカーストリートイレギュラーズの一人が捕まったっぽいんですよね。
Whatever brings you here so late at night?
I'm interested in the case of young Leighton Chapman. He was arrested earlier this evening and accused of a double murder.
I beg your pardon? That case is quite clear to the police. Or are there any new facts that we don't know about?
Who knows, Inspector?
Look, you are free to investigate, of course, Mr. Holmes. Chapman was arrested with a revolver in his possession, which you can find in the evidence room. The suspect himself is in custody.
Did you find anything else on his person?
A few personal belongings. Nothing particular, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you, Lestrade.
さあレストレード警部から許しを得たので、まずは本人の話を聞くのがチャップリン、この人か。チャップリンじゃない、チャップマン。
This suspect for interrogation. Good evening, Mr. Chapman.
Who are you? I've got nothing to say. It's all a mistake.
Calm down, Leighton. I have come here to help you. To find out if you truly are innocent, as your younger brother Wiggins has told me.
My brother? You know him? Then that means you're...
Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, blimey. All right, Mr. Holmes.
お、で
I'll
も
tell
協
you
力的だ
everything.
ね。それはありがたい。
Good. Tell me your account of what happened.
I left my work and I hurried up to see the fireworks in Whitechapel. I was late, so I decided to cut through Half Moon Street. I saw the first fireworks light up in the sky. I bumped into a constable on a corner before entering Half Moon. Then suddenly, what with all the firework flare, I saw two men. They were both lying flat in the middle of the street. I stopped where I
二
was.
人の男ってのがキ
I
ーっ
thought
ぽい
about
な。
turning back to the police, but as I was thinking of that, I saw a third person. He was leaning over the body that was furthest from me. The second I saw him, he raised his head and he stared at me. In a flash, I saw his gun, but he made a dash for it instead and he escaped through Whitechapel Street.
So you might still have had time to return to the constable.
I panicked. I didn't know what to do. Anyway, I approached the bodies just to see if they were still alive. I saw that one had blood pumping out of his stomach. He was dying. It was horrible.
ああ、何、二人の男ってそういうこと
The
か。
second one was already dead.
二人死んでるってこと
Holding
か。
his head. He was holding a gun in his hand though. I took it, and then I followed the third man.
Interesting. Pray, continue.
I turned a corner, and I saw the man standing in the middle of the street. He seemed to be in some sort of panic. And then, Mr. Holmes, something strange happened. I told the police and they laughed at what I said, but I swear to you, my words are true. I started running towards him. But then I was blinded by a flash. It was so bright that I hardly saw anything for a good dozen seconds. But I kept running forward.
それ花火の閃光じゃねえんじゃ
As
ね。
I arrived in Whitechapel,
今の設定
I
は
heard a woman scream,
花火でそんな
and then I was caught by the police.
光って眩しいってなるか。しかも10秒も見えないんでしょ。
Of course, then they found a gun and all that blood. I couldn't see the murderer escaping and all that mess. Perhaps I was still half blinded at that moment.
A thrilling account, my young man. Leighton, Are you able to describe the person whom you saw standing in Half Moon Street?
Well, I wasn't able to see his face at all. It was too dark, and he was too far away. I could see his silhouette.
And what about that?
Nothing so special. He was wearing a jacket. He was quite average in size and his weight.
I see. Was there anything else that struck you at the time?
No. But perhaps it's strange, but I can't remember the sound of his footsteps as he was running away. Perhaps it was because of the fireworks or the surprise of me seeing him.
はあ。なんか俺的には先行弾というかフラッシュバン路上育ちなんかフラッシュバンかなんかを投げられたんじゃねえかなって思うんだよね。なんかあったよね今ね。あった。見えねえ。事務員なんだ。あ、これ何？ここに入る前になんか犯罪を犯してたってこと？
We shall see you soon, young man.
なんかフラッシュ板とか投げられたんじゃねえかなって思うんだよな。じゃないと花火でそんな目がくらむってことないと思うんだよね。
These cigarettes are filled with cheap tobacco. Nothing interesting. A cheap watch, bought with his own money, no doubt. So this is the gun that Leighton was holding when he was caught by the police. It is a Webley revolver, a reliable weapon.
で
It seems as though the shells were not removed from the cylinder. It seems as though the shells were not removed from the cylinder.
何発入ってんだろうね。特になんか刺繍みたいなのはなく。
2 out of the 6 shells have been fired. There were 2 shots.
なるほど。ああ、その男の人2人だから2ってこと。あれでもそうなってくるとちょっと怪しいような気もするから。じゃとりあえず今から行くのはハーフムーン通り行ってみましょうか。さて酔いつぶれてる。なんであ、こっちから来たのね。暗いなあ。確かやられてる。
Please, gentlemen, leave the scene now. Oh, Mr. Holmes, is that you?
Good evening, Constable...
Constable Marrow. I was here with Inspector Aberline during the Ripper case, Mr. Holmes, back in '88. But then this is nothing like that case. With this one, we've got the murderer, the weapon, and the statements, which speak for themselves.
Of course, Marrow. But you know that appearances can sometimes be deceiving. Who were the victims?
The 2 men here, both shot. The stab fellow was Brian Vercotti, a well-known ruffian. The other, Kenneth Butler, a jeweller by trade.
You spoke of statements. You have witnesses?
Well, I was there, so I gave my own statement. And then there were 2 other witnesses who said they saw the killer Chapman. Mr. Turner, a gentleman who lives in that flat over there. And Polly Powell, a flower seller, who was over at the far side of the street. かっこいいな、なんか演出が。なるほど。
So, Constable Marrow, I should be delighted to hear your testimony.
I was standing at the north side of Half Moon Street. That was the side that you came from.
But you would have been unable to observe this part of the street, where we are standing now.
That is correct. but I saw the two victims slowly enter Half Moon Street, and then shortly
まあで
after
も
the
ここに
fireworks started.
レ
A
イト
few
ン来
minutes
てるのは
after
分か
that,
って
the
るもん
fellow
な。
Chapman rushed towards me and ran into Half Moon Street.
Please continue.
I didn't pay attention, but suddenly I heard a woman's cries and police whistles on the other side of Half Moon Street. I rushed over there and I saw the two dead bodies on the ground. When I reached Whitechapel Street, I saw Leighton Chapman. He'd been caught by two police constables.
それは見たというのか？
Did you hear the shots?
I didn't hear any shots. The fireworks were all over the sky. They were so loud I couldn't hear anything else.
まあそれを狙った可能性はあるよね。花火が上がったと同時に撃つみたいな。
What were the fireworks in honor of, Constable?
Well, today's Queen Victoria's birthday, Mr. Holmes.
Yes, I appear to have lost track of the days. It is May now, of course.
はあ、ビクトリア女王の誕生日。なんかここら辺覚えといた方が良さそうだもんね。
While you were running through Half Moon Street.
I saw nothing but rats, and I took the time to light every corner with my lamp.
Did you happen to look up at Mr. Turner's window when you were on Half Moon Street at that time?
Yes, I saw that the window was open, but no one was there. It was dark in the room.
Constable, your statements have
そうね、
been
貴重なものだ。
great
ただそれ目撃、まあ目撃か。まずは調べよう。
The bullet struck his head. This man didn't stand a chance.
地面。物が挟まっている。木のかけら。
A piece of wood that has stuck between the cobblestones. Let us take a closer look.
こう葉巻？いや違うな。なんだこれ。まあ別になんかある。あ。
This shard of wood is quite new.
なんだろう。他は？お、鍵。
This is an ordinary key. I wonder what kind of door it opens.
なんかおしゃれな鍵に見えるよね。まあ主流なんだろうけどさ、この時代はこれが。ありがとう。じゃあ次はあなたに話しかけてみようか。
Good evening, Mr. Turner.
I heard Constable Barrow reply to you as Mr. Holmes. Are you that detective, gentleman? I've heard of you. And well, I know things about this evening.
Excellent. Might we hear your story? Could you tell us everything that you may have seen or heard?
I was already in bed when the fireworks started. A few moments after, I clearly heard two gunshots from outside.
Please continue.
I quickly got up and I grabbed the lamp from my nightstand and I rushed towards the window. I looked down and I saw two bodies. And there was a man.
ああ、だから撃ったとこは見てないんでしょ。
Where exactly?
Well, near this body.
Did he notice you?
I don't think so. He rushed towards Whitechapel Street without looking around.
はあ。
Mr. Turner, did you see anyone else in the street?
No, I saw no one but that man, the murderer, the fellow they caught.
Were the two shots you heard consecutive?
Yes, there was a very short pause between them.
間があったってお
And
か
they
しいな。
sounded different somehow. It seemed to me that the second shot was louder than the first.
That is
な
an
んだ、
interesting
サイレンサーか
comment.
なんかつけてたのか、一発目。
Mr. Turner, what were your actions after you stepped up to the window?
I was afraid that the man with the gun might return, so I stayed close to the window till I saw the policeman coming into Half Moon from Whitechapel. Then I walked out to tell them everything I saw.
まあありがとうございます。まあ貴重なね、意見というか証言ですが。まああなたの見ておきましょう。ない。お？勲章。ああ、退役軍人の方でしたか。お、なんかあったね、今。 あ、なるほど。支えてんだね。あといや、ないな。なんだろう。あ、これ見えねえわ、ボタンが取れてるって。ありがとう。
You have helped us a great deal, Mr. Turner.
さあ、ちょっと推理しましょうか。ターナーの目撃とレイトの供述ちゃうか。ターナーの目的と、あ、わかった。異なる銃声？あれ違う？これか？これか。実際は3発発砲されたが、ターナーには2つの異なる銃声音として聞こえて、最初に1発発砲された、その後すぐに、ああ、そういうこと。ああ、どっちなんだろう。こっちかな。一応こっちにしといてみる。まだある。レイトンの教授と、これ違う。盗品はなし。どれだ？暗い窓か。と、これか？違うか。こうか。ああ、ほんとだ。食い違ってる。なんだと？
Mrs. Powell?
What do you want?
My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm assisting the police with their investigation of the crime that took place this evening.
Well, I've already gave my testimony, but very well.
じゃあちょっともう一回ね、同じ
Will you tell
お
us
話を聞けれ
everything
ば。
that you may have seen or heard?
Yes, yes. I was selling my flowers as usual, and then the fireworks began in honor of Queen Victoria. I enjoyed those. But then, all of a sudden, a young lad ran out of Half Moon Street and stopped just by me. He had a gun in his hand. He was like a ghost, and all covered in blood. It was dark, but I could see him because of the flashes from the fireworks.
And then?
I screamed as loud as I could. I knew that a policeman should be on duty in the vicinity. He had
まあ
no
で
time to
も
escape.
声を上げるわな。血だらけで誰か来た
Another
ら。
constable came out from the very same street, and I heard him talking of a horrible murder.
まあ別に怪しいことは言ってないよな。
Mrs. Powell, did you hear the gunshots?
I'm not sure. You know, what with the fireworks?
なるほど。
Did you see anyone else leaving Half Moon Street prior to or at the time of the crime?
No, sir, I did not. Even with all the fireworks, I was very attentive, as I'm always on the lookout for customers.
My thanks to you,
ま
Mrs.
あ
Powell.
特になんか変わったことってのはなさそうだがな。共通する供述とレイトの供述。架空の人物なの？はあ、これじゃあ何？こっちってこと？なんか青色になったらなんかいい感じになるのかね。一応じゃあこうしておきましょうか。はい、ということでちょっと早いですが今回ここまでにしときましょうかね。ラスト事件楽しんでいきたいと思うのでよろしくお願いします。ポンコツ出さないようにしないとね。ほんじゃまたね。